Hello there, today I'm going to talk through my Experimentations Sketchbook, in which I go through my experimentations, materials, techniques and processes in more detail. I'm now doing this alongside my own main sketchbook, as I want to focus a little bit more on the more messier side of things in terms of my work. Here is me looking at mark making and paint mixtures. One of my absolute favourite artists, Anthony Pierce, regularly uses these kind of symbols in his work, and this is something that I'm trying to incorporate into my own work as well. I feel it gives it a real boldness and simplicity to it, which is really effective in communicating meaning, and is also a real great graphic element to it as well. Here's me experimenting with paint mixtures. As you can see here, I've used wood glue, sand and grey paint mixture. This is a paint mixture that I regularly like to use as it gives it a nice texture, depth and patina to the work. Here is the stencils that I'm going to use as part of my project. I really enjoy using these type of stencils as they give the real kind of graphic and graffiti kind of feel to them. They kind of add to the piece and they give it a sort of a further dimension to it. I've found these old stencils which I find really useful because they themselves almost have a real unique edge to them. And as you can see here, I've also aged the pages as well, which is something that I really want to continue doing, as I find it really helps give another extra edge to my piece, and also it helps give my sketchbook somewhat of a more interesting appeal to it. Here is my Frank Auerbach style mark making. I'm trying to create mark making pieces that involve lots of different kind of movement and texture at the same time. Hence why you can see here I've created these different marks, mostly using a palette knife. And I've also put sand over it as well to give it extra texture. Here's me working symbolism again. As you can see here, clearly in Tapias's style. I've also included splatter paintings as well, as I feel this is a real useful element. And once again, it adds that finishing touch, which is something that I'm really trying to emphasise this time with my final piece. Here, once again, is my Frank Auerbach mark making. I've tried again to use this sort of style. It's interesting because he often uses faces and he often paints portraits of faces. And that's something similar I was going for here. As you can see, it does have a slight sort of facial kind of feel to it. As you can see, I'm also using a lot of grey and black and white paint. I almost try to mix it on the canvas because that gives it a real kind of effect in which you can clearly see my movement and my brush strokes, which I think is really effective as it gives it a real human feel to it, as you can see the physical endeavour that I take in creating my artwork. Here is me doing a similar thing, in which I mark make once again. However, this time, once dried, I sprayed it with some aerosol paint. The first layer was black and the second layer was white, and I tried to do this to try and sort of illuminate the piece and give it an extra element to it, once again adding yet another finishing touch. And here is a combination of everything that I've used. I've used aerosol paint, mark making, and I've also added some brush strokes in as well. I'm trying to do this as I want to sort of build upon what I've already learned. And so far in this project I've really enjoyed it, as it's really helped me think more creatively and artistically in terms of abstract painting. I really enjoy working with extra elements as well, such as aerosol cans, as I really feel that it adds another element to the work itself, and is also a great finishing touch, as I've said before. Okay, so that concludes my final sketchbook presentation. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.